Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday show.
Nice. We are live. Thursday already. Where did the week go?
I know. Seriously.
I don't even know. Awesome. Well, hello and welcome again, everyone. We are Stephanie and David and Stephanie. Awesome to see you all here again. We got some people coming on live. We're running just about right on time. I'm excited for tonight's call. This is something a little different. We don't often get a chance to showcase one of our dear friends and inner circle members, but I think this is really going to be insightful and eye-opening for a lot of you.
Yeah, this is great. And I know there's going to be a lot of other inner circle members coming in to cheer John on. So I'm going to be excited to say hi to everybody. But for those of you, this is your first ever Facebook Live with us. We go live every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We like to give information to train our followers in how to heal from unhealthy relationships. And we do not only work with you in this arena by giving you free information, but we actually also have clients. And so, like we said, we're excited to have John come on and share his story about where he was not that long ago and where he is now and how beautiful his journey has been so far.
Yeah, so this is going to be a little bit of a different format than what we normally do. We appreciate anyone's engagement. And of course, this is, going live through Facebook Live. For those of you that can't join in live, if you're watching this as a replay, still feel free to comment. This isn't designed to be a Q&A type session, but we love the interaction, and we always go back to make sure that we touch on your comments and stuff like that. So if you're watching the replay, definitely feel free to do that. So what do you say? You ready to jump in?
Let's go. Who's ready to meet John? Write John in the comments if you're ready to meet John.
There you go. Give him some love.
Yeah, give him some likes and love. Let's do a.
All right, so we're gonna bring John in now.
I don't think I've ever gotten that kind of welcome before.
Get used to it, man. Get used to feeling the love. You know that.
Seriously.
So, John, welcome. Really great to have you on.
Wonderful to be here.
Thanks so much for joining us. We know this is taking time out of your day, but we're really excited to have you here. We were talking with John a little bit beforehand and just kind of going over what a ride it's been. And it's cool too, I think, because for us, like the inner circle is family. Mm-hmm. It might be, that we just met not too long ago, and the time we've spent, it seems like it's gone by pretty quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it has.
But we definitely appreciate the chance to, really get to know people and their lives and get involved and help them out. So welcome again, John.
We got a lot of people that are excited to be able to meet John and hang out with you tonight. So let's get started.
Yeah. So we're probably aiming for this call to be around, probably half an hour. We're going to do, a little Q&A with John, get to know him a little bit and his experience. And then we're going to, just wrap up at the end, share a little bit more info with you. So stick around, enjoy the show. So John, why don't you start off, if you would, just tell us a little bit about, about yourself, about your background and particularly what kind of, brought you to us, what kind of things were you dealing with?
Absolutely. I'm 51. I live outside the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul. And I'm a veteran. You can see my Air Force pictures behind me, my American flag. And I've gone through, a lot of stuff in my life. Just to give you the real quick abridged version, father passed away when I was 12, raised by my mother, youngest of two kids, Midwestern, conservative, Italian Catholic family, and everything good and bad that comes with that. And have had, over the course of my life, have had not the greatest luck in relationships. So in 2018, my 19-year marriage ended. And I found myself in a relationship with another lady that ended extremely poorly about 5 months ago or so. And I was sitting here in the midst of COVID in quarantine by myself, kind of wallowing in my own filth, so to speak. So I started, surfing online and looking at Facebook and checking out a couple groups, and you guys popped up. Healing from unhealthy relationships. That rings a bell. So I started doing the Thursday groups and learning what you guys were about. And after a couple weeks, reached out to Stephanie and said, hey, do you do any one-on-one consultations? I don't like how I feel about myself. I don't like my life right now. What can you offer? And Stephanie and I probably spent, about 2 hours on the phone.
It was a long time, maybe more like 45 minutes, but I got to get to know you pretty well and
We
hear
covered
what
a lot.
you needed. Yeah.
But we got to know each other. Stephanie got to know me. She felt I would be a fit for the program. So having been through counseling, post-deployment PTSD type stuff, and having just recently dropped over 50 pounds, I felt I was ready to dive in and take on a challenge.
Cool. And John, by that point, I know you talked about the relationship ending. For you, what would you say were like some of the biggest challenges that you were really looking for help with specifically?
No, I think the biggest ones were I wanted to know what was wrong with me, because I didn't feel that I was good enough to maintain a decent relationship with somebody that at least I thought I was in love with. What went wrong? What could I have done differently? How can I change me? How can I fix my behavior? And these were words I was using at the time. To be able to get that relationship, to be able to have that loving, caring, nurturing relationship with somebody, because I didn't think I could do it.
Yeah, and I think that probably resonates for a lot of people, right? Show some comments and likes if that resonates with you, because I know for a lot of us, myself included, there was that period of time where I was just filled with that self-doubt, and it can really, kind of keep you stuck.
Well, when you start to look at things and start to say, hey, I've been the same, like it's been me through all these relationships. So what is going on here that's causing me to get stuck in these same types of relationships? And it's hard sometimes to look at ourselves. And I think that that's for a lot of clients. It's like, me, I got to look at me, but what about all the stuff this other person did to me? So I love that you were able to realize that and know that you could reach out.
Yeah, it sounds like there was a bit of courage and self-honesty, to reach that point. I mean, for a lot of people, that's kind of the toughest first step, to start to take a look at, like Steph said, take a look at yourself and where you're at.
And in all honesty, I was sitting in my house all by myself. I work from home because my office is closed, and when I don't have my daughter with me, I don't have anybody over, and I'm all by myself.
Certainly gives you some time to think.
What can I do to better my situation? Got all this time, I've got all this availability. Let's make some changes. Let's find someone who can help me get where I want to go.
Yeah. You got to be commended for that too, John, because, sometimes it is a challenge to face, the darker part of ourselves. But, I'm glad to know you recognize that you were worth it and you were willing to put in the work. Because for a lot of people, they don't even take that first step to really look for help. So why did you, when you kind of talked to Stephanie, I know you shared a little bit about this, Steph thought that you would be a good fit. Can you say like what really made you decide to go ahead and invest in yourself, working with us? Like, was there anything in particular that really kind of sucked you in, or?
I think Stephanie's personality and mine kind of fit.
Good.
One of the counselors I had through the VA, through my veterans programs, was very matter of fact and kind of swore a lot and told me the way it was. And in that initial conversation with Steph, she didn't pull any punches.
Hopefully you didn't swear all that much, but
well, I'm from New York, so you never know what's going to come out.
it might slip. Yeah.
But no, the essential message was, you can do this. You have a strong personality. You did 22 years in the military. You can do this. We can help you do this. Let's go. And that's the kind of support. That's the kind of spirit that really resonated with me. And I said, I think I found the people that can help me.
Cool.
And it was great because I remember here talking to you, and as we were going through it, I was thinking, hey, I have family members that have been in the service. My dad's, retired captain in the Air Force. My brother-in-law are all ex-military. So, I have a kindred spirit. I feel like I understand, I was a military kid who moved around every few years. So, so I understand that perspective as well, how that feels from the other side.
Yeah, and that's not an easy life, whether you're the adult or the family. It's not an easy life.
Yep.
That's true.
So what are the big, sorry.
Number 4.
Oh, sorry. What's the impression of us in the program? So like what was really that stood out for you from the program, the 8-week program?
from going through the program.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first big watershed moment was the first psychk session I did with David.
Mm.
And you remember that, David, emotions came, and I felt physical change in the hour and a half or so we spent together.
Yeah.
It took me a few days to recover from that and get the brain firing in a different pattern. But that really started the transformation, the chain of events that really led to a different life. And the biggest part of that was me realizing that, I deserve what I'm looking for. I deserve the happiness. I deserve my daily affirmation. I deserve to love and to be loved.
Oh, yeah. You got that posted somewhere?
It's on my bedstand. I look at it every morning when I get up.
I love that. And what's so fascinating, and of course, I don't want to take over here. I could talk forever about psychk. But the fact that you can take something like an affirmation and literally within 2 to 5 minutes, program it into your subconscious and make it literally true for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you become the person that you want to be instead of just, trying to affirm or wish or hope.
Right.
And like you said, you can see how rapid the results are and how impactful that can be in terms of getting leverage on beginning to make the major changes that you really want. That's great.
So
and then
the kickers group that was right after that following Monday, we were talking about
our Monday lives. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Monday group for the clients. We were talking about not losing yourself in yourself, losing yourself in service to others.
Mm-hmm.
After that group session, the very next day, what happens? I get appointed to my local city council.
That's pretty wild.
I know, that was so cool.
Yeah.
And there you are, you're like, I want to do volunteer work. And then bam, there you were doing it. Exactly that. It was like
Right.
just called it in, like, all right, let's do this.
That's how it works.
And in all honesty, I can't take full credit for that. I'm positive it was the shift that I got from that psychk session that allowed me to have the interview with the city council that got them to appoint me. That's
incredible. I don't even think I heard that part of it, that you made that direct correlation. So I'm floored, man. I mean, I'm very humble about this. I know how much it's changed my life. And that's obviously, as you know, part of why I'm so passionate about sharing it with others. But that's fantastic. And that's such an important point, because once you change, it's like they say, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, right? You use something like psychk to make a fundamental shift in your personality. You become a different person, and the things that you naturally attract to yourself begin to change. And I just love hearing stories like that, man, where it's like you have real life evidence of your life actually getting better as a result of you elevating your mindset. So
I wasn't even thinking along those lines when I went into the interview. It was only afterwards that I said, "Oh, wait a minute."
Yeah.
That energy I was portraying was different, and that really solidified that first session for me that, all right, this is going to work.
And it felt natural, right? Didn't it? Because
it was very natural.
And that's how it goes for a lot of people. They don't even realize the shift to their status quo until after the fact. And they're like, wow, that was actually pretty cool.
Right.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, John.
Well, and that's one of the things that I think is so cool about doing this is that before David joined me, I was doing these programs by myself and I was getting amazing results. And then actually David did a session with me, and I had kind of a similar thing where it was like I was supposed to speak in front of a large group of people. I got really, really scared. I couldn't talk. And then David did a psychk balance with me. And then people that saw it on video, they're like, that's the best presentation you've ever done. And I'm like, all right, we got to start working together, because it was that moment of clarity and it just flowed, like everything was more natural. So I know what you're talking about. And it's just so interesting to watch. There's the before David and the after David, even as part of the program, to see how people really level up from there is so cool.
Yeah. And I see Christine, I'd mispronounced the last name. Sorry, Christine, is asking, what is psychk? It's spelled PSYCH-K. And it's real quick. It's a method of high-speed mindset change in the family of what we call energy psychology that allows you to access disempowering subconscious beliefs and transform them so you can relieve chronic stress and anxiety, change habits that you want to change, or even go so far as to change your personality and become what I like to call your superhero self. And what used to be big problems turn into just stuff to be dealt with. You have a much greater sense of peace of mind and things, I think, and you probably agree, John, certain things that you focus on shifting, they just become more natural and a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And Steph, don't worry. My sessions with you are equally as amazing, and I can talk too.
I wouldn't steal her thunder. And we know Steph is amazing, and I think that's true. And again, not to go off, but that I think is one of the reasons why what we do is so successful, because Steph has the relationship experience. I mean, she really is the relationship expert.
Mm-hmm.
She wrote the book literally on it, you know, Being Loved Shouldn't Hurt, available on Amazon. Shameless plug.
Little plug.
You know, that's what the group is named after. But she has the ability to share and really connect with people on a level that's impactful when you've been through some really difficult things, toxic relationships. Get clear on where you're at, what you're worthy of and what you deserve, what you're capable of. And then helps paint the picture of like how great life and relationships can actually be. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I had worked with some of her clients on, you know, sparing basis here and there. But things really started to shift when I added psychk on a regular basis. But taking that piece to use the mindset change to bridge the gap between where you're at and where you want to be, that really became powerful. But of course, we know Steph is the big shot. She's the face of the
tell us,
brand.
John, like what was that like for you? Because I mean, that when I remember like taking notes during our call, and I mean, I just got so much great information, and I felt like there was so many like points that were connected throughout. Mm-hmm. And how was that for you?
Well, the leading into Stephanie's session, I was going through the units in the program, you know, getting that support network set up, figuring out what it is about my personality that I wasn't happy with, and doing the journaling and the things that you do going through the units. And when I met with Stephanie the first time, the biggest issue I wanted to tackle was this lifelong feeling that I've had of never being good enough. Growing up in my brother's shadow, having to live up to what I thought the expectations of my father would be, because he passed away when I was 12, and going through my past relationships that were pretty much all toxic in one way, shape, or form, and hitting these points that Stephanie is talking about. And she was able to take all those points and mold them into really one issue or picture, and said, you need to have a conversation with your mother. Because I think this all goes back to when you growing up in your brother's shadow. My mother had to go back to work full time when my father passed away, so I really lost both parents at the same time. Gen Xer, latchkey kid as a teenager, you know, all of these issues. And what came out of that, well, the first thing that came out of that was my mother really didn't get why I was in therapy. Her generation doesn't necessarily understand that. But we were able to have a conversation, and she shakes her head and says, but your dad was the second kid too. So it's not even an intentional action reaction that I realized I was living with. From the time I was born, monkey see, monkey do. My dad had the same feelings that I had. And it goes all the way back 50 years. Once I realized that, I was able to have my second session with David, which was a great follow-up, where we kind of reprogrammed that. Hey, I am good enough. I deserve this.
Better than you thought.
And I had a hard time taking compliments, because I never felt I was worthy of taking compliments with my comments from Monday's group. And the affirmation that came out of the second session was, I'm going to dare myself to receive grace as well as I give it. And another shift happened. And now my job's going great. I've got great friends. I have people I've never met before taking an interest in me. Hey, who is this guy? Not dating yet, Stephanie.
And in just one second too, because I just want to highlight too, the fact that I want to go back to that city council thing for a minute, because the fact that you were voted into the city council, you've actually changed the whole dynamic of like even the voting. Like, did you voted in someone that maybe would not have been voted in before? Like you've changed the whole trajectory.
I live in a pretty affluent suburb of St. Paul that I'll go ahead and call it like I see it. It's very rich and very white. We just appointed, one of my first acts was to vote on appointing commission members for our advisory commissions. We appointed our first African-American commissioner in city history.
And that would not have happened if you weren't there. And that's one of the things, like, and there's so many great things that you're doing and will do. And that's really what I want people to hear. If you don't do the work, you don't get to do all these cool things. Like, I wouldn't be able to sit here if I hadn't done the work. David wouldn't be sitting here next to me if he hadn't done the work. John wouldn't be none of this would be happening if we had not done the work on ourselves to get to where we are. All of you who are watching have that capability
to do something different.
You just need to grab it out of there. And we can't do it on our own. You know, I had degrees in psychology, crisis counseling, all of these different certifications and all these different things. And I couldn't figure it out. I feel like I'm pretty smart. John's smart, David's smart. We couldn't figure it out by ourselves, and to be able to have someone else to just say, hey, this is what you need to do. And this is outside of your head. Someone who's already where we want to be.
That's just
can get us to that place.
Yeah. And we talk about mentorship and how important that is. And all the most successful people we know have worked with coaches or mentors. And, we do ourselves as well. And we encourage that. The thing is, it really is true. You want to partner with people, number one, people that you vibe with, right? Because you're not going to get far. It's just like in business. You do business with people that you like.
I had awful therapists. So if I would have stopped there, I would have never kept going because they were terrible for me. And then I finally found one that was good and it was life-changing.
Well, you don't always, strike gold the first time out realistically, but you want to work with people that not only that you vibe with and really, have a good personality, similarities with in that sense, but people that have been through what you're going through and people who have achieved what it is you want to achieve. It sounds elementary, but it's really important. And again, the fact that, like I say, we didn't wake up one day and say, oh, let's try being coaches. Like we literally just learned how to heal our own lives and begin to feel better and begin to change things and really attract everything that we dreamt of having in our lives. And now we can't help but share this information. And now we're really just so grateful and blessed to be able to share this on a broader scale and really have developed something unique and powerful, a combination of the husband and wife team, the hybrid coaching model that gives you the live, I'm going to go too far into it, but that, the live streams, the core curriculum, the one-on-one sessions where applicable, that stuff all works together. And, you really just answered our next question, which were, the biggest results that stood out. You talk about your job and friends and
the city council appointment. I ordered a new car, brand new Ford Bronco.
Nice. All right.
Friends I haven't talked to in years, friends I sacrificed for the sake of my relationships because I wanted the relationships. They've come back. My life is flourishing. And to go back just for a minute to your previous point, to use one of the things you use in your lessons. If your house is full of crap, you need someone to help you go through your crap. You can't sit there and do it yourself because you're attached too much to everything that you're seeing.
Yeah, it's a great point.
So having the right coaches, and fortunately you two were for me, being able to sift through all that stuff got me on a course. And to stay on that course, it's a constant state of work. You can't just say, okay, I made it and stop.
Well,
you got to keep working on it. You got to keep having the smoothies, keep drinking the water, keep doing the meditations, and keep working towards what you want to be. And that's really, if I could mash everything up into one lesson, that's the one lesson.
So where do you feel like what are your visions and your dreams for your life going forward now? You've made some pretty dramatic shifts. I think we can all agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
So like what's next for John Maz?
Well, part of what I've shared in the groups over the past several weeks is there was this life I wanted to have that I had with my last relationship. I don't need that relationship to have that life. I can have that life on my own. So I'm envisioning continuing and increasing my community service, trying to make my little corner of the planet a better place, trying to improve the quality of life of the people around me. And eventually, when it comes time to retire, I can retire where I want and how I want. And honestly, the ultimate dream is to have a little 24-seat cafe where I can do my cooking, which I love to do, and make people's lives happy by giving them really good food at a reasonable price.
I love that.
That gets me teary because I know that all that's possible, and I'm excited for all of that for you. And I think even you were telling us before that you had a little hangout with your friends last night. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened yesterday?
Absolutely. This is the full circle moment. So these friends that have noticed this change in me over the last few months, they were asking me questions about the therapy, the group I've been attending, and what I've been doing and what the realizations I've had are. And I shared a lot of what I shared with you tonight. Then they start telling me about their relationship problems. So I take the lessons I learned from the two of you, and I'm talking to them in a very non-judgmental, non-confrontational manner about what they can do, not what they should make their relationship partner do, but what can you do to feel better about that relationship? And in one instance, do you even belong in this relationship? So using the lessons that I learned, I'm helping my friends. And they haven't asked for how to get in contact with you guys yet, but I see that coming in the future.
Hey,
you may wind up with a couple friends of mine in your client group in the near.
Like I told you, man, we'll welcome them with open arms.
Welcome
we
to
know,
the family. Yeah.
They're in good company for sure.
And just one more plug. It's not just the two of you either.
Yes. And thank you for bringing that up.
It's everybody that's in the group. We have people from all over the world.
That's true. We do.
That are part of this group. And one of the former client group members lives about 15 miles from me. And on my birthday, I was feeling kind of down because everybody was quarantined in Minnesota at that time. And there was nothing to do on my birthday. I didn't have my daughter. I was all by myself. So this other member of the client group takes it upon herself to grab a 6-pack of beer, brought it over to my house, and we had a birthday toast.
That was so cool to see that too. Like the picture, we felt like proud parents.
Yeah,
we're like, oh man. And
the whole group supports each other. And that was equally, if not more valuable than all the unit work and the workbook and the smoothies and the one-on-ones. Just having that atmosphere where people support each other, don't judge each other, and just understand where each other is at and help people get through the process.
And that's and I think that's really important for people that are watching to realize too, is that having, in our personal lives, for a lot of us, you got to think about what type of people we normally have. Do we have people who are, pushing up and inspiring our dreams? Or do we have people that are like telling us that our dreams are terrible, or they also are in toxic relationships and they just don't see like, oh, this is the best it can get, stop complaining, or they don't really know what to do. And that's what I love about this group. When I was in toxic relationships, nobody really talked about it. I felt like nobody else was in it. I was the only one. And so creating a safe space for people to feel comfortable and support each other, it helps growth so much more, because you're all in it together. You're all learning together. You're all figuring it out together. And then you've got support. You've got people that actually can help you get there. So it's a great community. And we we call it the family.
That's it.
And we're all at different points in the program.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. But we all have
somebody like me is at the end,
Mm-hmm.
which really isn't the end because we're all part of one big family now.
That's
Mm-hmm.
true.
But people who are just coming into the program and feeling a lot of the same things I did 2-3 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
I can help them as you can help them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty of how this is set up is the senior members can help the new members.
That's true. So what would you say to anyone who was on the fence, who was like, I probably need help, but I'm not really sure if it's for me? Like, what would you tell those people?
Give you guys a call. Talk about it. I had that call with Stephanie, and I looked at what the program entailed and what you get, for the investment you're going to make, and I think it's worth every penny. It's a far greater value than you'd get at a traditional therapist, and you get so much more than you get with a traditional therapist out of the program. And since we're on that topic, I'm not really sure how many people are online tonight, but if you're a guy, I'm a guy. It's okay to say you need help and to find someone to help straighten out your life. A lot of times guys, have the machismo. Oh, I'm not going to go get help. I'm not going to go to therapy. It's worth it. Believe me, it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
The results speak for themselves.
I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, John, man, I tell you, it's really been great hearing, these things, and obviously having gone through this process with you and being able to share in your triumphs as well. It's been great, but just to have sort of like the summary perspective, and to really get a sense. I mean, even for myself, of how far you've come since really just a very short time ago. It's just remarkable. So, I just want to say thanks again so much for coming on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I need to give the two of you a big thanks, and I'm not going to be a stranger once my time in the program. You'll see me on Thursday groups. I'll reach out to you guys. I'll let you know what's happening, what's going on.
Awesome.
It's all part of the family now.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
You're stuck with me.
Not stuck. We would choose you every day, my friend.
Well, and it's funny because before I was doing this, I was a teacher, and actually right before this live started, a former student of mine that I had like 6 or 7 years ago found me on Facebook and reached out to me, and we're actually going to talk tomorrow. And it's just, it's that teaching continues, is that it's just one of our favorite things as teachers is to see where life takes you. We get to be a part of the journey for that short period of time. Yeah. But then I love, like when you bake, you get to see the cake. Well, here, this cake takes a while to keep rising and to keep growing. So it brings us so much joy. We get so excited to see, results like John is having and some of our other amazing clients. Like it fills us every day with so much happiness. And so thank you so much for sharing all that with us, John. Yeah,
it's like having our cake and eating it too.
Well, you're more than welcome. I'll come back and talk with you guys anytime you want.
I love it.
Everybody, so give some love to John in the comments. We've already got some love and people that are thanking you, John, for sharing your story. So that's really great.
Yeah, so I'm going to put you in the back room, John, and we're going to keep hanging out for a few more minutes.
We're going to convene with you. We'll send you back to the green room. But thanks again. Yep.
So what do you guys think? Like, that was awesome. John is an inspiration. He's amazing. He's doing so many great things. We would love to hear from you and what your thoughts were, what stood out for you from talking to John.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a lot of engagement in the comments. And again, we don't necessarily get to, address each comment individually during the live, but we'll circle back with you. And look, you got to understand, you look at John, you see he's a regular guy. Obviously he's a genuine, sweet, nice guy, but he's not different from most of you out there. And, I think the difference is that he realized that his life was worth making changes, and he realized that he had to do something different and that he needed guidance from people who'd been successful doing the things that he was struggling with. So I think that really comes down to it. And look, we love what we do. Our whole reason for having this group is to share what's worked for us. We're not saying that any of you have to hire us, but if you're looking to get help, and you kind of vibe with our style, and you've been maybe watching us for a while, checking out our lives, we put a lot of love, blood, sweat, and tears into the lives that we do for you free weekly right here in the group. And look, it's real simple. like we say, everybody's at a different point. Some of you are just in the education phase where you're starting to come to grips with life's not working. What do I do? What do I need to be aware of? And so forth. We encourage you to dig into all the resources we have.
Mm-hmm.
But like John said, for those of you who are, on the fence, kind of feeling like, okay, I want those results too. Like, I want these amazing transformations. I have a dream that my life can be far greater than it appears to have been over these years. Reach out. As a matter of fact, if there are those among you that are actually ready to get to work, go ahead and comment the word work in the comments below. What we'll do is either Steph or I will circle back and just start a conversation. You know what I mean? If you feel like this might be something for you, we'll share a little bit more with you. Find if you're a good fit. If not, no hard feelings. But if it's something that you feel passionate about, and you're starting to recognize and realize that your life is worth it, and that if change is going to happen, it's not going to happen when the stars align. It's not going to happen when certain other things fall into place to make it easy. You recognize that you need to make a change now. It's a challenge to get to that point, but I'm telling you, once you take that step, get the right tools, guidance, and support, it's going to make a huge difference. I like the analogy of the rocket ship, right? It uses 95% of its fuel to get to the top of the atmosphere. That's likened to that first difficult step, that big push. But the remaining 5% of the fuel can get it to the moon and back. Take that step, reach out to us, comment work in the comments below, and we'll circle back and we'll see if it's a fit. We love you either way, but the reality is John's a great guy, but his story is not unique. We have clients experiencing these type of breakthroughs every day. It's part of what just obviously you can see gives us joy and excitement to be able to share this. And it comes from a place of genuine heart. We've been there. We've dealt with the self-doubt, the shame, the guilt, the anger, the frustration. It's not a way to live. And the reality is change is not in some faraway place. I know this from doing these psychk sessions all the time. Your ideal reality exists fully formed in the field, so to speak. And it's just a matter of tuning into the right frequency, making the right changes. And again, with the program, we offer a holistic approach to make sure you're supported from all angles. You get the amazing Stephanie. I do my part. You get the community. We work together. And again, amazing transformations can happen. So anyone who's interested, we'll have a chat. We'll see if it works,
Yeah, comment work. We'll set you up with, the Essentials Toolkit, and we'll figure out if you like how we can help you. We'll point you in the right direction. And don't worry, we have lots of different, if it's not the 8-week program, we have other things to work with you with. And, if we don't think we can help you, we'll let you know what else you can do. So, it's definitely worth testing it out and reaching out, comment the word work. There's a lot of you doing that already. I will reach out to you after the live and we can start setting up appointments. I can't wait to chat with all of you and see you possibly where John was just a few minutes ago. So it's very exciting to be able to see all this transformation, be able to be with you every single week. Those of you who are watching this as a replay, just go through. If you just started watching it now, please go back from the beginning and watch all the way through.
This was a good call
tonight. If you
tonight,
commented and we didn't get to respond, because obviously, we were going through talking to John, but we will go back and respond to everyone on here. So don't worry, even if it's as a replay. So don't worry, still ask your questions. But thank you so much for tuning in with us on Thursday, our weekly Thursday Night Live. And we will see you in the group. Keep learning, keep growing. And remember, you're way stronger than you realize. Bye everybody.